Welcome to the Libertyville Business Show. I'm Jim Connell. I'm here with Shelly Malizola from Allure Deisgns Salon Boutique in downtown Libertyville. So thanks for being on the show, Shelly. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, just tell us a little bit about Allure Salon and Boutique. What do you guys do? What makes you special? I've been in your store. My daughter has worked for you. Thank you very much.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a great boutique and a really cool salon. But tell us a little bit about the genesis of your business and what makes you special in terms of what you do and how you do it.
Okay. So I've been in business 26 years, and I started it with two other women back in 1996. And we were on the outskirts of Libertyville, up on 137. And so we started off as a booth rental salon. We rented out our stations.
Okay.
And after a few years, that building was sold and we moved into downtown. And we were across the street, kind of hidden on the backside over by Morgan's for a long time. And I bought my partners out eventually and moved to my current space in 2012.
Okay.
And so I've rebranded Allure. We've always been a salon, but I've rebranded it several times. It seems like every few years it kind of needs a facelift, so to speak.
Okay.
And so in 2012, when I moved, I always had this vision of bringing fashion and beauty in with hair and makeup and skin. And so finding the location that I'm in on Milwaukee Avenue was the perfect spot to do it. And so we do all things beauty. So hair, skin, makeup, and then fashion.
Okay.
So that's where we have the clothes and the jewelry and the handbags and all of that. And my idea was, we've got men and women in and out of the salon. And one of the first things that happens when you transform somebody's hairstyle or skin is they all of a sudden become aware of what they're wearing, Yeah. Or you give them a new hairstyle and they want to put on some lipstick.
Yeah.
And so
the new me.
Yes, exactly. So I thought, how cool would it be, that we could also give them a new dress or a top, or also to keep people current and go out and shop for them has been just super fun to pick out all the items. And one of the things that makes Allure unique on the salon side is I have an in-house training program. So I either hire right out of cosmetology school, or I will hire experienced stylists.
Okay.
But I put them through my own training program, anywhere from 6 months to a year. And so we teach classes every week in the salon, and we bring in all kinds of wonderful education. I fly in educators every year, so the staff is excited.
That's cool.
So world-renowned educators. We have one actually coming on Monday, Dusty Rhodes. He'll spend the day with us teaching us new current styles.
That's cool. Where is he from?
He's from Minnesota.
Okay.
And he was my educator. I went to Hair Academy in New York, and he was one of my educators.
Oh, wow. In the city?
Yeah, in New York City. Yeah.
Wow.
I just did a week-long program. And but last year we had Maddie Conrad. I usually bring in Susan Ford. They're big headliners in our industry, and it's to keep the really experienced people also that work for me excited and engaged, and all of us learning.
Well, it's a pro shop.
Yes. Yeah.
It is a pro shop. You can see that by how you just interacting with you, knowing a little bit about your business. I didn't know all of that, but you're very organized, very intentional, and you're a pro. I was thrilled when Caroline was working for you.
She was incredible, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
She takes after her dad.
Probably her mom more than me, but You also have a consulting business, is that correct?
Yes.
Because you've been in the game a long time.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
Yes. So in 2017, I retired from doing hair. So I was just running the salon and in-house as our educator. So I started working for a consulting firm out east, and I had done a lot of their education and thought I wanted to pay it forward in helping other businesses. So it was a lot of travel, a lot of being away from home, and I really missed doing hair on a daily basis. So fast forward, I did that for a couple years. I stepped away. Pandemic happens, and after we were closed for 3 months from doing services, I had to put my apron back on to start doing hair again because we were so backlogged. And so I realized, okay, two things. I really loved helping businesses, and I felt for years, I don't have a business degree. I say that my education is from the School of Hard Knocks. And
amen to that. Yeah.
Just figuring out what works.
I would challenge you. You have a business degree. It's just different.
Right.
Hands-on.
Yeah. On the streets, business degree.
Yes.
But, I have all this knowledge information, and I have many mentors in my life. And I think I've learned the most from doing things wrong and great mentors and coaches. So I really wanted to pay that forward, and I loved seeing businesses turn around. And so as a result of the pandemic, I started a second company where we were shipping out beauty black boxes, and I private labeled skincare. In that, I was working with, once again, other business owners, trying to get my boxes in their companies. So I now, full circle, have opened up my own consulting company, and it's under that second company, the Beauty Cloud. So we sell skincare boxes, and I coach struggling businesses. So
is it mainly salons, or is it a boutique of any kind or any industry, so to speak? What's your focus?
It's all things business. Obviously, my background is salons and boutiques. Mm-hmm. So I created some tools. I find that most business owners are so busy working in the business, not on the business, and they don't like to look at numbers. Numbers are not fun.
Yeah.
So I created some of my own forecasting tools and ways to help business owners look over the horizon, so to speak.
Okay.
And so I paired that with teaching them about numbers and understanding and how to be profitable with building teams through culture.
Wow,
so that's
great.
In a nutshell.
That's great. So you're busy.
Yes.
You're busy. So it's a good segue. And those tools are transferable to any business, any small business. It doesn't have to be a salon. Right?
No.
But that's a good segue to a question I wanted to ask you. You are very engaged, have been very engaged with the Mainstreet organization in downtown Libertyville, among other things, in the community. You're an engaged citizen and business owner. But specific to Mainstreet, I've always admired you and others who have given a lot of time, a lot of knowledge and talent and passion to Mainstreet. So why do you do that, and why do you think it's important for other businesses, especially the Mainstreet district, to step in and get involved?
So a few years ago, I was looking at my numbers, and I realized that the eventing that Mainstreet organizes and puts on was a huge percentage of my profits for my retail center. And so that led me to really getting more involved with Mainstreet. I ended up being a co-chair with Heather from Heather's Gym for economic vitality, and also sitting on the board of Mainstreet. And it really opened my eyes as to who Mainstreet is and what their purpose is. And I didn't realize, the amount of time and effort that they put in. And I did realize how much they did for the businesses, but the fact that it's all volunteer based, and it made me want to give some time back to the organization that really helped me. So unfortunately, I had about a year in sitting on the board, and then it went into the pandemic. So it was really difficult times as a business owner. To be in that role and to really,
Right.
Feel like I was fully, giving my all to the organization.
What's interesting, what I think is really cool is going back to your consulting, you looked at the numbers, you correlated the events that Mainstreet has with where some of your pops were coming from in terms of your business, and that's fantastic. Was there any event that stands out to you that was made a real impact, or was it all of them were kind of the same across the board? Just kind of curious about that.
So definitely some are better than others, but Wine About Winter, which is now, in the Ville, is huge. That's in February. It's historically one of our slowest months. It's a great time because we're able to get rid of a lot of back stock and have some new stock in. So that has been huge. The first Fridays, those 3 hours have just been instrumental in even meeting people and gaining new customers, and then of course the sales, and then I would say Small Business Saturday that weekend.
It's a good weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. It's so cool because it's so hard as a village trustee. We don't get sales reports from businesses, of course, but to hear you say, yes, there's a correlation there. It moves the needle for me. So why wouldn't I want to get back and get involved and maybe double down on that, or help everybody double down on that? I love that. Now, the last question I have for you is, you went to Washington, D.C. to the Goldman Sachs Small Business Conference. Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
I watched the Goldman Sachs YouTube channel. I watch all kinds of YouTube channels. And I thought that was really cool. You posted something online, and I called you, and I'm like, hey, I want to hear about this. So what are some of the takeaways? I mean, there were some big-time speakers there.
Yeah.
Wasn't David Rubenstein and was Gates there, and Bill Gates? Or
no.
Was Warren Buffett there?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's great.
President Bush, a lot of senators, and So it was all business focused. And when I did the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business program, it was, I say it was business life changing. And so that was years ago, and now they put us all together in DC, and they brought in these big headliners to just talk all things business. And I have some of my notes here, and I was asking Jim, how much time do I have? Because I just want to tell everything. But so just cut me off. I kind of organized them to give some good takeaways that I got.
Please.
Okay. So the first one was Allie Webb. So she opened the franchise Dry Bar.
Yeah. Okay.
With her brother, and scaled it. She sold it in January of 2020 for, I think, $255 million after just a few, I think it was about 6 years of owning and starting the franchise, which is all based around blow dries. Yeah. So just styling hair. So one of the things that she said is have a clear vision of what you're doing. You don't want to be like 5-year-olds playing soccer. Everyone's hitting the ball. Allie struggled for a long time in allowing others to have responsibilities. And when she looks back now, she questions why she wasted so much time trying to do everything. which I think as business owners we can all relate to.
Yeah.
And we're not good at everything. And so allow other people to do what they're going to do. She talked about branding, and every time somebody walks in your store, your restaurant, your business, what is the music? What is the smell? What is the cleanliness? And everything, customers should always have that same experience, no matter what's going on. And business owners, you can have good days and you can have bad days. And she talked about how it's like playing a game of whack-a-mole. And you can put out a fire and another one pops up.
Yeah.
And but if you love what you do, it won't matter. So I thought that was great. She also talked about having an exit strategy right away, which I also use this in my coaching. You absolutely need to do that.
A lot easier said than done. Right?
Yes,
yeah.
It is. And when I was on the board of Mainstreet, Heather and I helped with Pam Hume put together succession planning. And I think it was eye-opening for all of us. But yes, so super important. One of my takeaways from Allie's session was just delegating and owners focusing on what we do best.
Yep.
Not micromanaging, and really trusting our team to shine. Let's see here. So David Simic opened Soapbox, which of course I'm talking about some of the hair related things, but there was all kinds of businesses there. Yeah. But he had over 20 million in sales. He's not very old too. So one of the messages that he talked about is having impact in every single company. And he started donating soap to shelters in the very beginning. And so having a purpose, Marcus Samuelson, he owns Red Rooster. He's on TV a lot. Yeah,
I've been to Red Rooster in Harlem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So same thing, like his purpose was to restore a community. And I thought it was cool. One of the things that he talked about is big businesses can write a check, right? So what can small businesses do? And small businesses, he talked about, they can just train others and share their skills. And so I thought that was really great. One of my takeaways was, what's our legacy that we want to leave, in the business community or in our town for Libertyville? And that's why I like hanging out with Jim so much, because, you really want to help the town and businesses grow. And I think that's a great legacy, because sometimes we're so busy, we're all business owners, right? And we're concerned about what's going on today. And, but like to really think far and wide. And that's why I like also to connect with other business owners in our town. And even if they're doing the same thing that we're doing, we're all different. And I think that goes back to like thinking through abundance, and there's enough to go around, and sharing and learning. So Adam Grant, this was really interesting. So he is Wharton's top professor 7 straight years in a row. Mm-hmm. So he's an organizational psychologist, and he's a leading expert on how we can find motivation in meaning and rethink assumptions and live more generous and creative lives. He's been recognized as one of the world's most influential management thinkers in under 40. So big takeaway from him is owners don't get trapped by egos. And he talks about thinking like a scientist and testing your hypothesis. Scientists seek knowledge and they run experiments. So sometimes we get these great big ideas, but we need data, right, to support them. And I think surrounding ourselves with people who are going to challenge us. And
I like Adam Grant. Now, if I recall correctly, he said no to the Warby Parker guys. They were his students.
Mm-hmm.
They offered him the opportunity, and he turned them down. Now he's very focused. He knows what he's good at and everything. But there's some cool stories that I've heard him tell. And brilliant guy.
Yes.
Brilliant guy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, he has a couple books too.
Yes.
Have you read his book?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
The
give and take.
Give and take. Yeah.
Power moves.
Yeah.
Yeah. He studied the Great Resignation, and he found there were some interesting factors why companies lost staff. And so we all lost staff for whatever reason.
Yeah. No one was immune to that.
No. But based on his study, what he found was toxic cultures. People felt they were being underpaid and they wanted more flexibility. And there was a fourth one, which I did not catch.
Those are pretty significant.
Yes.
I mean, when you look at the restaurant business, it's been fascinating to watch this stuff unfold. I need to go back and listen or read some of what he's talking about here, because the underpaid piece, the flexibility piece. So how do you adjust your business to accommodate those things? I mean, there's a lot of implications there.
Yes.
That are pretty doggone challenging and frightening. Yes. As a business owner.
Yes, there are. I know in my business, I had to completely revamp a lot of things during the pandemic. And I created a 4-day work week. I had to lower my full-time status. However, I started double shifting the stations. I had to raise prices because of costs and wages going up. But I changed some things. I'm paying people more than I've ever paid, in the history of my company. But I feel overall people are happier. And I have figured out some new ways to be profitable. And so there are ways to do it, but unfortunately, you really have to know your numbers and your costs. And as business owners, I find a lot of times owners want to start slashing costs. And I don't think that that's the right approach. Because, wages are included in that and different things so anyway, without going on a tangent.
Yeah, it's very reactionary.
Yes.
And it's very human.
Yes.
What can we cut?
Yep.
And without the science and looking at the science and the data, you may be surprised by the story that it's telling, and you may discover you don't need to cut head count or something like that. Yeah, it's interesting. It's hard. I mean, that's what makes business a lot of fun, because it's so challenging. But that part of the business, and I would say, we all need help. I know I do, and I reject it a lot. It's just, I'm a small operation, but it's one of those things where you have to have the self-awareness to say, no, you need a pro. Yeah. You need somebody, a mentor, a coach. That's good information. Do you got anything else?
Yeah. I guess I could end with Maury is a professor from Wharton, and she was one of my instructors when I did the Goldman Sachs program.
Okay.
And so she talks about negotiating, and she said there's 4 stages of negotiations: preparation, information exchange, bargaining, and commitment. People who set high goals will achieve more. Moderate goals will meet mediocrity. So that stood out to me. People who set aspirational goals will not be as happy. And why? The inability to stop and pause. Are we learning how we got here? Maybe it's opportunities we're not seeing. More is not always better. More is not more. So she said all the hard work that you're doing should come from purpose and stopping and self-reflecting on all things. The paradox being intentional and wanting more. She said set high goals, and if you want more, ask for more. So
that's good advice.
Yeah. She said embracing the information exchange. She also talked about, if you look at sports players who, football players, they lose the game on Sunday. What do? They, that night or the next day, they're already watching their opponent and setting up strategies for what they can do better. So allow for mistakes to teach us. But that was great. And don't carry the scars. And so I loved this. She said mistakes were meant to inform you. And so we don't need to walk around a bag of mistakes. Okay, I'll say one more. Gwyneth Paltrow from Goop was there. And the interviewer asked her, how do you handle feedback of people not liking you? And Gwyneth said that she likes what Oprah told her, and that it's none of her business what people think of her.
Hey.
So I thought that was cool, because as entrepreneurs,
straight to the point.
We need to be okay with people not always liking us, right? And stay true to who you are and your mission, and it's all right. There'll be enough people out there that do like you.
Yeah. There's when you talk about branding, I can't remember who the author was. I either read the book or saw probably a YouTube video lecture, and they were talking about branding and being what's the word? Oh my gosh! Basically, being strong one way and people not liking you. You look at some of the brands out there, and they are very, very focused on one thing, which means half of the population isn't going to like them.
Yeah.
But they can make a heck of an impact with the other half liking them. I mean, quite frankly, you look at some of our politics and what's happening there. But what's the word I'm thinking of? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'll think of it after this thing is done. But just the whole branding piece of it is it's none of my business what people think of me.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm going to keep going and I'm going to keep doing my thing.
Yes. Stay true to who you are.
Yep.
Yeah. One of the last speakers, I'm going to mess up her name, Emma Grede. She started Good American with Khloe Kardashian.
Okay.
And she made history as the first Black woman to serve as an investor on Shark Tank.
Okay.
And she's also been named as one of the richest self-made women under 40 by Forbes. She grew up really poor. She said her huge driver was liking money, which I thought was kind of fun. And so Good American is the first fully inclusive fashion brand. They have all sizes, and she talked a lot about the power of influence with social media. And
Kardashians sure know how to work that.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, she talked about understanding your branding and putting talent together. And she said in the beginning she became obsessed with reading reviews, good, bad, ugly. But she said to surround yourself as entrepreneurs with people that are going to challenge you and make you think out of the box. So yeah,
that's cool. There's a lot of data in the reviews.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
It's sometimes hard to swallow some of the feedback that's not so good.
Yeah.
But there's gold in there sometimes.
Yeah.
If we face the reality of it and say, sometimes we make mistakes.
Yeah.
So, are there patterns in the reviews? Those kinds of things are informative.
Yeah.
So let's give a plug for the upcoming fashion show.
Okay.
So when is it? How do you get tickets? Where is it? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yep. So Mainstreet, this is their second year putting this on. And it's October 16th. It's a Sunday from 11 to 2. It's going to be at the Civic Center. So they're doing advertising that you can, sign up through Eventbrite. The tickets are $40. It includes a light luncheon and drinks, and there'll be a fashion show. And then we'll be encouraging people to go out and shop on a Sunday afternoon to the local boutiques. And Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
Yep. Some of the stores too are passing out. You can actually just buy a ticket in store.
Oh, good.
I know at my salon and some of the other businesses participating, we have flyers that have a QR code that we can scan and sign you up for it too.
Okay.
It's limited spots, and we feel strongly that it's going to sell out. So don't wait to buy your ticket.
Cool. That's great. And there's food there, you said?
Yes, there is food.
Okay. A little music, maybe?
Yep, there's a DJ, and we'll be selling raffle tickets to benefit the Highland Park, some of the fundraising they're doing because of the shooting.
Okay, good. So there's some good
Yeah.
stuff being done too in terms of charitable work. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Shelly, for coming on the show and just sharing a little bit of your journey and some of the nuggets you picked up from the conference. Go get a ticket at Allure for the upcoming fashion show. It should be a good time. And thanks for watching.
Thank you.